welcome back to the worst podcast I've ever heard. We're back. Can you believe it? After a long sabbatical over, you know what, quite frankly, creative differences, contract disputes, and all of the above. We are back here on iTunes. And hey, guess what? We've been gone so long that we have an original fucking guest from the first episode. You may not know who he is, but he's
Wish he wasn't here.
Yeah.
Okay. See you later.
It's the I don't know. I don't have any nicknames for you. It's Tommy. What the fuck is up, dude?
You do know I was on the Christmas show, right?
That's
oh,
true.
shit.
I did forget about that one. I'll give you that.
Oh,
I was ripping Malort. Remember that?
Yeah, you're very forgettable. So we also have Pico and no Skype Ryan. I mean, shit, no tweet Ryan.
Okay.
Now everyone's going to add you. No, that wasn't an actual dig.
We'll cut that out. We'll cut that part.
Yeah, we'll cut that. Hi, Pico. You're running this whole ball of wax.
How's everyone been? It's been a while since we've done a podcast. I mean,
I know the three of us haven't talked since then, honestly.
Yeah, so...
That's not true.
I mean, there's been a lot in wrestling that's happened.
So much. All right, you know what, Ryan? No. Okay, let me... excuse me, Pico.
Step aside, Michael.
Okay, so the story that Ryan's about to tell, it's about maybe close to a month old, but it bears repeating because we must get this on the airwaves. So Ryan, please explain.
All right, so there was one point in time where I was talking about Pac showing up to the, All Elite Wrestling.
Do you remember that, gang? Do you remember that? We were talking about All Elite Wrestling.
It was a while ago. Mike, do you remember it?
It was last month.
Huh? Tommy, do you remember it?
No.
I'm sure you do. But anyways, I was talking, and Pac show. I get going, and my emotions start getting the best of me, and I say, you know what? Pac's shredded. If I was as shredded as him, I'd go to the grocery store looking like that. I didn't think much of it. I was all heated up in the moment, kind of trashing AEW. It's okay. And then next thing I know, Luke fires off a text and says, it doesn't even say anything. It's a comparison video. And Cody Rhodes, says word for word nearly the exact same thing, referring to Pac as being shredded, saying he'd go to the grocery store. The thing that I would really like to point out is, why did Pac show up to a work press conference in a Speedo, some boots? That's about it. Like, I get the dude's shredded. I mean, if I was as shredded as him, I would consider it. I would honestly consider going to the grocery store wearing that. But come on, man.
Yeah, when Pac did it was okay. Look at his body, dude. That guy's shredded. If I had that body, I'd go to the grocery store like that, baby. Full gear, you know what I'm saying?
And let me tell you something, Cody. All you had to do was hit the DMs and send me like $30, and you know what? We would have been fine. $30. He uses the line.
That's what it's worth.
And maybe a contract. That's all I ask.
Oh, that's all.
And I don't get any of it.
Well, so let me explain how I came across this giggity. I was watching, it must be like 3 episodes ago now, of Being the Elite. It's the thumbnail with MJF on the thumbnail. Hence the thumbnail.
That's how many times? One more time.
I know, yeah, redundant there. So I put it off because I saw MJF in the thumbnail. I'm like, I'm not fucking.
A lot of things off, like podcasts.
Oh, you'll die after this. So
that's a shoot ski right there.
Yeah. So I was putting it off, and I had a moment. So I was like, okay, let me get this episode out of the way with stupid MJF. So I watch it. Then the first minute, Cody says that crap that Ryan was just saying. It's like, God, didn't Ryan say that same exact thing? Sure enough, I went to our January 13th episode or whatever. I think it's what it was. I don't think it's no longer on iTunes now, but
it's on YouTube.
I was skimming through it, and I felt like I discovered who really killed JFK. It was really something. And I screen recorded the podcast, and I screen recorded the part from Being the Elite. I slapped them together. I'll go ahead and retweet it now so you guys listening can see for yourselves.
Decent plug.
I'm sure that they haven't seen it already.
Yeah. Maybe no. A lot of people.
5 million times we've all.
No, judging by the numbers, not too many people have seen it.
So here's my theory with that, and I think what happened was he searched on like Twitter or I'm assuming Twitter, and he
does that.
He looked up AEW Rally, and he saw my tweet with the podcast link, and I think he listened to it because it's like Luke said, it's the first 5 minutes or so. Which, by the way, Cody, if you're listening to this, I love the company. Let me know if you need a graphic designer.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm all in on All Elite.
Nope. That's, you just ruined your job interview.
All right,
there.
And I think
thanks for listening to the podcast. We'll talk about it next time. And we're gonna kick the mic. That's my gimmick. And we're gonna kick Mike from all future podcasts.
I'm gonna have to file a restraining order from you being on a online podcast.
Agreed.
That made sense. Tommy, what did you think about this whole thing?
I didn't believe it. Like, I woke up and I saw the string of texts in our little group message, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sure this is a coincidence." And then I watched it, and I watched it again, and I watched it again, and I literally watched it like 5 times. And I was like, "Holy shit! Like, they're not kidding. This is legitimately the exact same wording." So it was ridiculous.
Pretty insane. I watched it probably more than anybody, kind of because I had to edit the thing. But yeah,
is it because you love the sound of my voice, Luke? I mean, I always kind of it's 2019, Luke. You can say these things. It's okay.
Do we have to do this now?
The good thing is, in that podcast, Luke and Ryan were talking bad about AEW, and I sounded really good talking about AEW.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
that probably would have worked to your favor if you wouldn't have said that just now.
Pico, you just made it sound like you're just saying good things to get a job.
It's like Dolph Ziggler when he's like, "I'm actually really, really funny."
Yeah, can you believe he actually fucking said that? That geek.
Yeah, geek.
He is a geek.
It's all right, Dolph. I still like you.
No, let's bury him for a minute. Have you seen his stand-up comedy?
I'm not gonna bury him. The dude took a chance and went on stand-up. I just thought that line was pretty funny, saying that he was actually really, really funny. It popped me. I was like, what?
You be any more fool of yourself? Jesus. Sorry. So, yeah, that was that. That happened a couple weeks ago, and we were all pretty mesmerized by it. And that was right around the time Royal Rumble was a few days away at that point, and so much effing news we missed over the past couple of weeks. Arguably, the biggest news since we started doing this podcast all came out during our sabbatical.
Basically.
So... what the fuck? What's going on in this wild world of sports? What's the expression? Sports. Jesus.
Basically, everyone is going to AEW, and everyone's hinting at going to AEW, and it's just insane. Like, I feel like once a day there's a new person that's hinting at going to AEW. Like, honestly.
I think when Mike has a wife and some kids, he's going to sit down there and be like, "Mike, what's the greatest day of your life?" And he's going to glance over at the kids. He's going to slowly glance over at his wife, kind of give him a look, and be like, "I think it was when Dean Ambrose signed with AEW."
With a twinkle in his eye as he calls back that.
Let me tell you a story.
About Dean Ambrose?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us.
We all stop and wait.
I should have set that up better.
Yeah.
No, but speaking of which, Dean Ambrose, that was a huge blow to the company. A legit.
Did you just say Dean Ambrose, the God?
No, did I say that?
Yeah, it sounded like it.
I think you just said that.
No, I think I cut myself off before I said something else. I would never refer to anybody as God except myself. So.
Oh, jeez. Continue.
He's leaving in April after WrestleMania. I mean, this is arguably the biggest blow to the company since CM Punk left, as far as like a main eventer leaving. Not that there are any shortage of main eventers. I think they have plenty, but I remember Tommy fondly saying in 2012, way back when, he said, "Oh my God, his promos are so mesmerizing." So you actually said that. So what do you think about this man leaving after 7 years, almost 7?
Should I actually go into this?
I mean, I don't want to detail blow by blow if this is going to keep us here all night, but
okay. So yeah, I was so at the time I was looking to get into the relative. The relatively unknown.
Get into your relative. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a Targaryen.
Here we go.
I was looking to get into the relatively unknown, like, indie people, so that I could be like, oh yeah, I've been watching this guy for years. Like, you don't know about him? Oh, he's so great. So I heard about this guy John Moxley, right? And I loved him. So I picked up his stock and just dropped it on the floor wherever I could, just to be like, hey, I know this guy and you don't, haha. So then, for years, when he was in like developmental and they were waiting for him to debut, I was like hyping it up. Oh man, I can't wait. And then came up, did the Shield thing. It was awesome. And, you know, he was fun for a while. And then now he's rolling out fucking hot dog carts and doing random shit and like getting his ass handed to him by Nia Jax every 2 seconds. I fucking, like, I mean, I've said this time and time again, and it's not like a thought that only I have, so I'm not going to take credit for it. Like, a million people think the same thing. Just this era, there's so much talent that some of it is not being used at all, and it's a shame, because if you give Ambrose like main event time in like a different era, he could be like the biggest star of all fucking time. But because the way it's run, okay, yeah, obviously that's a goddamn exaggeration, but because of the way it's run, he's just a random job guy, and that's why he's leaving.
Well, you can make like 5 different wrestling companies out of the roster that they have, like under the WWE bubble. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought Ryan would jump in. I thought that I think I even said this once. I don't know where I said it, but it was a case of when WWE was signing all the hot indie talent, and it was just they were getting everybody. And I was thinking, like, God, that's going to suck the day like everyone starts to leave and filter out, because like they have the most amazing talent. I'm going to be saddened to see a lot of them go. But at the same time, you look at these guys and how they're used. Hideo Itami is one guy we did not mention until now. He's had enough. A lot of people are surprised that he stuck around as long as he did, but everyone was really excited for him to come in, and especially because he replaced he took back his move, your boy's move. So it was nice to see the GTS back.
Well, remember, he technically, I don't know if you would call it debuted on the main roster, but he was in that Battle Royal at WrestleMania 31, and that was like the big thing. And I thought he was going to win that whole thing, but obviously, Big Show won, but still.
Yeah, it's sad. I think Austin Aries is another guy I was really sad to see go. I'm like, God, man. I mean, it's going to come to a point where everyone has to go. You can't stick around forever. And I tweeted this out. You got to fucking make your guys happy and girls, because it's getting ridiculous. They're leaving in droves, especially with AEW waving money in front of their faces. So.
And the interesting thing about Ambrose, and this is something that I noticed today, so Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins have a podcast, and they hinted at him being the guest for this week. So I'm interested to see...
Wait, who, Hideo?
No, Dean Ambrose. I'm interested to see what he's going to talk about, because I could be wrong, but I don't remember Ambrose being a big like wrestling figure guy. So maybe they just want to
also just
get him on the podcast, just to have a big name, and see, people are going to click it because Dean Ambrose is a big name in wrestling right now, so everyone wants to see what Ambrose is doing. So maybe it's just for like views and stuff. But I thought that was interesting.
I think Ambrose going anywhere, he's going to bring a good amount of profit. Like, that's not new news by any means, but I kind of saw this coming to an extent with him leaving WWE. I think it's one of those deals where when it happens, you're still like, holy shit. Like, it just throws you off because you see it. And then I start thinking it might be a work because of the fact that WWE's posting it, and it's just an overall kind of an odd situation. But nevertheless, I thought it was pretty like, I wasn't going to say it's pretty obvious that was going to happen, but I was like, if anyone was going to do it, I'd see him doing that.
He had been unhappy for quite some time, I guess, which, I mean, God, if you've been watching the product, Raw and SmackDown, for the past, 3 or 4 years, you can see why. They basically made him a caricature of who he was. A
caricature?
A caricature. Is that how you say it?
I think it's caricature.
No, that's funny.
Yeah, I think Cara, that's about right.
They basically just turned him into a cartoon, is basically my point. And
a cartoon.
Oh
He
man,
was-
I'm
he
never
was
gonna get through this thought.
He was the main guy of the Shield when they first started, and then they wanted Roman to be the guy. So then
Yeah, he was supposed to be the number one breakout guy, and it turned out to be Roman, and then Ambrose was dead last. So that's funny how that worked out. But no,
is it funny? Do you enjoy watching people struggle? Is that confirmed?
I love watching you struggle.
Anyway, Luke, as you were saying,
Wow.
I'm not finished berating him, but all right, fine, go ahead.
no, just saying,
Yeah,
as
let
you were
him
saying,
finish.
Yeah, they turned him into a cartoon, and he's tired of being a fucking joke. And I remember saying, I think it was our last podcast. I was talking, Ryan. I think you said something about Matt Riddle and being a corporate guy, right? Was that you? Who Matt Riddle coming into a corporate environment and seeing how he would fare? Did someone in here say that?
We may have talked about it once on a FaceTime call.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Well, okay. Well, I think Ryan brought up how Matt Riddle. It's like, oh my god, how can a guy like that fucking survive in a corporate environment? I mean, look at him. But Dean Ambrose was a guy who did that, and I had made the point, like, if you have seen this guy like on the streets of Cincinnati cutting those promos, you're like, there's no way this guy is going to be WWE champion one day. Like, you're fucking out of your mind. But he was able to conform and be that corporate guy. But I think he just had enough. Like most guys. Neville, take your pick. CM Punk.
John Cena.
John Cena had enough? No.
John Cena going to AEW, confirmed. Heard it here
Anyway,
first.
enough about that.
Here first.
The AEW shit, it's getting a little out of hand. I have to confide to you guys in this, gang. You know, it's getting a little ridiculous. Everyone's saying Randy Orton's going to go to AEW. Everyone's saying this Sasha Banks is going to AEW. This person's going to AEW. It's getting a little ridiculous, don't you think?
Yeah.
Ryan, go ahead, because I need to think about what I was going to say.
Think long and hard.
It's one of those deals where I don't know if you guys remember this, but remember when everyone thought Orton was going to go to TNA and there was, we've got a snake slithering, this and that. Like, I mean, this stuff has been going on for years. And it just so happens that now we're in a world where there's a social media platform for it where they can use it to just joke around about it. I don't think that every single person that sends out a tweet is like, confirmed. Because, I mean, when you think about it, the Bucks are friends with so many people that are in WWE right now that you know that they're just doing that to mess with them. Like,
Finn Balor.
I mean, if Luke was doing something, I'd give him shit and act like he and I were friends. You know, I have to do it for the podcast. We actually hate each other. But, I mean, I think that's just all it is.
Wow.
I mean, here's my thing. When I saw Finn Balor tweet that picture with Jericho, and then now he posted another picture with Neville, like, it's just, at this point, I think everyone is just, that's the cool thing to do is to hint at, you know, a thing connected to AEW. I am 100% for all the publicity. I know how to speak. All the publicity that AEW is getting, you know, any is good. So I think it's a little too much, but honestly, if in the long run it's going to draw like more eyes to the company, then by all means. But yeah, it's the same thing. I know this is a wrestling podcast and Luke doesn't watch baseball, but it's the same thing with the whole Bryce Harper and Manny Machado thing. Just get it over with. Just have him sign. Just sign somewhere already. Just sign somewhere. Just Harper, go to Chicago. Machado, go wherever. Like just end it. Call it a day. It's the same thing with the AEW. So it's just a matter of time. Once the show happens, once May comes around, and we know the matches and everything, that's when we'll actually know who's signing with AEW and who's staying in WWE. And then it could just they could be their separate things.
I doubt it. But Tommy, what do you think about all this AEW mess? Not the Brian Machado or whatever.
Brian Machado. Huh?
Brian Machado.
Not the Luke Harper and Brian Machado. What do you think about this AEW crap? Before we move on.
I mean, I think my thoughts are pretty identical. Listen. Let me finish this sentence.
The show very well, Tommy. Sorry, go ahead.
Fuck you.
Confirmed. Tommy thinks his thoughts.
It's true. So, yeah, my thoughts are basically echoing. It's like, you know, they're seeing that other people are doing it, so they're starting to do it just to be like, haha, I'm like messing with the fans and everything. And, it could, I mean, it definitely will draw more attention to the company, which is a good thing in the long run. But if people think that like Orton and Taker and like Sasha Banks are actually going to go there, they are like out of their mind.
Yeah, did you hear that, Luke? You're out of your mind.
Or Brock. I saw people
Brock.
talking.
Oh yeah, Brock's another one.
Here's the thing, like, if you have all the WWE people go over to AEW, then it's just another WWE. Like, you're not...
Disagree.
Like, I mean, obviously they would use them differently, but,
Oh fuck.
They're trying to get all different kinds of talent, not just people that are
all
jumping
elite
ship.
talents.
Exactly. See, Ryan...
Yeah, like Jimmy Havoc.
Who?
Like
he
Jimmy Havoc.
is the new
Who?
signee. I haven't watched any
That's
matches.
some elite talent right there.
Well, hold
Yeah,
on,
who?
because here's the thing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to find, they're looking for people who they see could be, like made into big stars, and that's who they're trying to get. So they're not trying to grab like John Cena and bring him over to AEW, and then you got the big name John Cena. Like they want to make their own John Cena, and they want to make their own stars. So Jimmy Havoc, you might not know who he is now. Like I've heard the name many times. I know who he is, but I've never seen any matches. And then in a year from now, he might be like a big name. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's kind of like, they want to make their own people, and they want to say that they, made, these big names, because I mean they're doing a really good job with being the elite, and obviously they have. So
Speaking of being the elite, 2 huge gets, I guess, for them, not official, right? Go ahead and announce it, Pico. I know you're just dying to.
Well, I don't know who the other one is, but I mean I've been saying this for months now. Kenny Omega. He's going to show up at, what's it called? What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, really going out on a branch
What are
there,
you talking
Mike.
about? I didn't know what you were talking about.
Didn't you watch Being the Elite this past week?
Yeah, but I forgot it. Remind me.
Oh,
Remind me, Luke.
Wow, I'm taken aback because
Are you taken
You're-
aback?
Luke,
I'm
it's
taken
been-
aback. It's an
Luke.
expression.
Pico, Lucha.
Oh, okay. So, shoot, I forgot. Hold on, you just hit me with a big thing because I totally forgot about that. It was, dude, what are their names?
Oh,
It's Pentagon and Phoenix. Dude,
That
it's been a long day.
hardcore guy from TNA.
It's been a long day. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Pentagon and Phoenix, they were at that one of the indie shows. I think it was NEW or something. And the Young Bucks showed up and basically offered them to work for All Elite Wrestling. And I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is, because they're still under contract with Lucha Underground, which those contracts are like insane or something. I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is like they'll do matches for, like they'll probably be on the Vegas show, but they can't like officially sign to AEW. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
Well, anyway, I think we've talked about AEW more than any other topic ever in the history of this podcast.
And before
any podcast.
and before we
actually,
finish,
yeah.
as you're listening
Oh,
to
all
this,
right,
as you're
Kanye.
listening to this, the little rally pool party thing will be either finished or will be just about to start, and Kenny Omega will officially be a AEW wrestler. So just throwing that out there.
That sounded very awkward the way it came out. He will be an AEW wrestler.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
we're like learning our vowels or something.
Well, it's been a long day. I had to slip all the way to class. Continue, Luke.
Tell me how that went.
Well,
AEIOUW.
Sounds like a slippery slope to me.
wow. Okay, with that very bad joke, Luke, continue what you were saying.
Oh wait,
before.
no. Didn't you take a bump? Is that what they're getting at?
No, I didn't fall, but I didn't fall this time. But everything was ice. I walked all the way to the bus stop. I waited for the bus in the cold. I went all the way to class. It was all ice. Like it was all
I didn't ask.
You couldn't know what's it called. I get to class and they cancel school. So it's been a long day. Go ahead.
Dear
Luke.
diary.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So what do we got going on in the World Wrestling Federation?
Who cares?
Well, yeah, but it's WrestleMania season, and there is news afoot. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's talk about something we didn't get a chance to talk about in the past couple of weeks. The fact that
All right.
the Royal Rumble happened, and just like we all suspected, in the main event of WrestleMania, it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. And
versus Becky Finch.
hopefully Seth Rollins will win the title and Brock can, go away. And Seth Rollins will once again end WrestleMania as the champion. Honestly, though, what do you think is going to main event WrestleMania?
Come on. It's pretty obvious now.
Bro, you have got to be kidding me if you don't think you know already.
I think I know, but I feel like they might change it
Bro,
day of.
Tell me what it is right now, bro.
Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda, a triple threat.
Yes. I think that's what it's going to be. I think that's what it always was going to be, but
I love it.
No.
You're like, oh, I love it.
I had to turn it around as quick as I could because I sounded too negative. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
I think it's going to be a good match.
No, I'll say this: Becky and Ronda should be main eventing alone. With all due respect to Charlotte, if you saw that promo, a week or two ago between Becky and Ronda on Raw, Jesus,
that was just insanity.
It felt like big time blockbuster big match feel. I'm like, this is your fucking Mania main event. And to throw Charlotte in there to water it down, I mean, she's great and all, but it deserves to be one-on-one.
I mean, when that promo was cut, I was so hyped. That was probably one of the first times in the last year that I've been excited because it was just holy shit, this is money.
Yeah, and just before that, before Ronda had her match with Bayley, she cut a god-awful promo. And
it was the worst promo of all time.
Yeah, and then they even cut her off. They played Bayley's music all right, we got to wrap you up. And then after the match, Becky comes out and says all this fire to her face, and Ronda just cuts the goddamnedest promo of her career in the same hour. It was insanely good. You need to go see it if you haven't. I don't know why you wouldn't have seen it, but
yeah. Why you idiot?
Yeah, why would you not watch that promo? I don't know, but yeah, I mean.
Oh, I got another one.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Vince Russo, Jeff Jarrett is back on Raw on what seems to be a weekly basis.
What the fuck?
So next topic.
Feuding with Elias.
Well, that reminds me.
No. Let's put that over. That was great. That first segment between Road Dogg, Jeff Jarrett, and Elias. Even the second week when Jeff Jarrett and Elias had a match. Straight fire. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed both segments very much. They don't okay, I'll tell you what it is. Tommy and Pico especially. No, they don't like it unless their names are Kenny Omega or Kushida or,
That's not true.
Speaking of Kushida.
We're not speaking their language. We're talking about grandpa.
I just don't care. I'm tired of all the nostalgia acts in WWE.
Whoa, it says the guy who loves Fuller House. That's interesting.
No. In WWE, I said in WWE. I said
really interesting to me.
I said in WWE. I don't want to hear the bashing of Fuller House.
What happened to Pico?
If it's not something that I care about, then I just don't pay attention to it. Just like you should have, with all wrestling. If you don't like something, then why you watch
podcast, right?
So it's the same thing with Jeff Jarrett. I don't care. The only time I cared about Jeff Jarrett is when he was walking out of the Starcast Hotel.
All right, wait.
Right.
What?
Wait. I didn't say I didn't care about AEW. I'm just saying people are overhyping it, and they're saying all these big names are going there, and it's quite frankly, it's getting a little annoying.
Well, yeah, and for me, Jeff Jarrett on Raw with Road Dogg is getting annoying, and I don't want to watch it. So then
That's
I don't watch it.
2 weeks.
I don't care. I don't care. If
you want to fucking see a live performance by We the Queens or whatever?
Sure. It's just one of those things. I just don't care. Whatever.
No. I got 2 words for you. Fuck you. Those segments were good. And can you name anything else? Maybe anything else that happened on the show that happened between maybe current generation stars that was halfway as entertaining as what Road Dogg and Jeff Jarrett and Elias put on the last 2 weeks? Go ahead. Thank you very much. What's cool spelled backwards? Thank you.
Oh my god. Luke.
No, I'm sure there was something a little more entertaining than Jeff Jarrett, Road Dogg, and Elias. I'm just trying to prove a point that they've been doing a really good job.
Well, like I said, I don't know if they're doing a job, that's fine. I'm not saying it was bad. I just said I don't care.
Yeah, well, you don't care about this podcast either. Otherwise, we would have been doing it every week.
Oh.
So
Ooh, ow.
It's a shoot.
Oh.
it was a shoot.
Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna sell this on High
let's-
Spots as a shoot interview.
Let's talk about the podcast we recorded last week.
that was totally your fault.
Honestly,
Let's not get into that.
Daniel Bryan has
Oh, that's right.
made the straight edge society for whatever you want to call it, vegans or whatever, with Eric Rowan and the recycling logo in
Now,
Rowan's
there's
name.
if there's something that I can hate, it's a couple of vegans. I love it.
Yikes.
All right, I'm just kidding.
That new
Vegans,
title,
you aren't that bad.
that new title is fantastic.
Oh, it's so good.
Fantastic.
What do you think, Tommy? You like the little stones?
Fantastic.
Oh, cool. I could have swore I asked Tommy his opinion on the title.
Yeah,
It
Donald.
looks horrible. I hate it. You know
No,
what
he-
looks good? No. You know what looks good? That new little NXT title. Pretty good. Ryan should buy it.
The North American Championship. Yeah. You'd be crazy not to buy a replica of that.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I'd buy a replica of the Daniel Bryan
Buy the
title.
real one, actually.
Yeah, Pico's gonna try to light up the Daniel Bryan title and
roll it
bake
up.
himself off WWE fumes.
Okay, that begs the question. Here's an interesting thing. So hemp is legal in the United States now, but is it legal to distribute it, sell it?
Okay, hold on. I actually have a legitimate question.
Dude, hemp has always been legal.
No,
I
it
have-
was not.
I have a legitimate question. Have you guys
Okay.
heard of Family Video?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I was driving by a very local Family Video, and there were signs up on the front that said CBD for sale, no
Yeah.
prescription needed.
CBD
like-
oil.
I was like, what?
Well, I know that in here in California, Governor Schwarzenegger did ban hemp when he was in office. So, and it wasn't legal nationwide.
out of here.
Welcome to the podcast.
want any of it. Give me the steroids. That's the juice.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Big time.
Milk is for babies. All right.
Yeah, nailed it.
I don't want the weed plant.
Wow. Luke.
That's a Pacific.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Oh,
I'm
good.
putting-
Now we're speaking
I
to
would
Rocky.
like to put I would like to put Luke on the hot seat because Ryan is coming up with the impressions now. So Luke, watch out because Ryan.
No, Ryan does some good impressions. What are the other ones you do?
No, we don't need to get into it.
Listen, I would like to say that my impressions are fantastic.
All right,
Because
well,
that's a good Justin. He doesn't listen. It's fine.
Oh,
shout out to Justin.
He won't do it though. All right. What were we saying? We're talking about hemp. Okay, so if they were to sell
Okay,
these,
so
speaking
Okay.
of Canadians, so
anywho, so if they were to sell these on, I can't even finish. Well, that's what she said. So,
Wow.
if they were to sell these on Shop Zone, I mean WWE Shop, I'm all over the place. I can't do it. I can't do
Okay,
it.
here's what I think. If they can't sell them on Shop Zone because they can't
Sorry.
they can't sell they can't sell them on WWE Shop because that would go against what Daniel Bryan is saying because they're
Redistribution and
like the production
Michael
and whatever
in the
because
water and making the frogs gay. Yeah.
they wouldn't use the same materials because obviously like they're not going to do that. That would probably take a lot of time and stuff like that. But I think it would go against it. I think this is just going to be one of those titles that just kind of is there for maybe until Mania, and then whoever's going to win the title, which it should have been Rollins and Bryan, but whatever. So
Interesting thought. So, Tommy, what did you think of that? You were getting on a hemp roll there until we cut you off.
very nice, very nice.
what do I think of the belt in general?
Well, okay, you're talking about hemp not being legal. I mean, how would they be able to sell? I mean, well, if you go back to Pico's point, like, Brian doesn't get this thing sold anyway. But if they were to sell it, how do you think they would even?
Well,
why are we talking about this?
you brought it up.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I'm not an expert on like the laws for this kind of stuff throughout the country, but I know
Ryan
in
is.
Illinois you could go to like any skate shop and just buy like a hemp hacky sack like on every street corner. So
Oh, wow! You can
Assume it
play
would
with
be fine. That's not how that works.
I know. I'm not Joe Rogan. I don't know anything about weed, but
No, you know a lot of things about those, don't you, Tommy?
Dude, okay. So here's actually I'm not going to get into that story. It's unrelated. Go
So-
ahead.
Oh no! What?
Okay.
no. Let's stick to wrestling. Let's not
So one of the things
go down the hemp road.
One of the things I wanted to bring up from the past couple of weeks is the little documentary thing they did from WrestleMania 34, and how at the beginning and the end, they have a clip of Brock throwing the title at Vince, and I just wanted to bring it up because
What do you want?
that was crazy to see, like a clip itself, and I thought they were gonna like continue it in the documentary thing. But that was the only clip, and they just kept replaying that clip like 3 times. So I was like, all right, well, but I thought that was like an interesting moment, and I want to know more.
How many times have you guys heard Vince say, "Hey, asshole"?
Once.
You did.
Wow. Well, while Luke is walking back to his computer.
No, but that's how it sounded.
Oh,
It sounded like he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So that's something I've always wanted to do to Ryan. Throw a belt at him. What did you think about that moment, Ryan?
honestly, when I saw it, I thought of you, because if you noticed, when Paul walked by,
me throwing the belt at you. Got it.
because here's the thing, Luke, you like to stir a lot of shit and keep walking. You try not to get involved. You'll stir the pot and then you'll just try and walk away. It reminded me a lot of you. If you watched Paul Heyman in that clip, he just kept walking like
he knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, he saw it coming a mile away. So my 2 thoughts on it are: it either he knew that's what was going to happen, like he just knew that Brock was going to throw the belt and say something, or was it all just a work because they knew the cameras were back there?
Yep. So here's my stay woke for the day. It was a complete work because they had a camera. No. They had a camera.
Cameras back there all the time.
No, but it was at this perfect angle, and they didn't have to move it at all, to where you could see Brock come in, you could see him throw the title, and you could see him walk out. It was
I don't
all
like the
too
seductive
perfect.
tone you used for that. You're like, you see Brock come in.
Listen,
It's getting hard.
It's a work, brother, HH.
No. It was reported a year ago as legitimate, and
it was
there wasn't. And so was the Montreal screw job, Tommy.
Oh, no.
I mean, yeah.
That's another podcast.
My God. If you believe... No. The same people who believe the screw job is a work are the same people who believe the earth is flat, so go fuck yourselves.
Flip Gordon.
Let's talk about something else. What else do we have on the docket, Bill?
Honestly, I can't think of anything else because I've been kind of out of the wrestling loop because I really haven't been paying attention to Raw or SmackDown. It's been on, but there's not.
Didn't we get something good this past Monday and Tuesday?
That's a good question.
I still have to watch Jeff Hardy in the main event.
Oh, here's something we could end on. I know Luke watched this. Okay, so basically, this past Sunday, there was a pretty big event happening. We can't say the name of it, but it was a pretty big event, and Luke's team was in it. And at halftime, they decided to do halftime heat. Now, before we get into the match, because the match was pretty good, before we get into the match, I know what they're going to do. And if they haven't done it yet, they're going to have these numbers, because they were streaming all day on that same link, the same link that you watched halftime heat. They were streaming NXT all day, so they could gain these numbers and show in the analytics that they had this many concurrent viewers the entire day, or the entire show. So then they could be like, look, we had more people watching halftime heat than Maroon 5 and
they would never say that.
And Travis Scott and SpongeBob and Dave Portnoy getting arrested. We had more viewers than all of that, and that's what they're gonna say.
Stroke my cactus.
Luke, what did you think of the match?
I'll tell you, Balloon 5, that was really a good performance. The match. No, a lot of people are saying what match of the year contender. It was the first time they emanated live from the Performance Center, which was cool. I was excited when they announced halftime he was coming back. God, I mean, yeah, you got to keep that in your list, Pico. Match of the year didn't happen yet, Pico, as you like to claim. After Wrestle Kingdom, the match of the year is in there somewhere, folks. It's not going to be passed. Jesus, just got a funny text. No, but it was.
Oh, wow, great hosting skills.
Yeah, who'd you get a text from, Luke?
This fucking prick over here.
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
say-
because we can definitely point him out now.
Because I got a text from J Hardy fan 54. So
Oh no, it wasn't from him. No, but anyway, yeah, match of the year contender for sure. It was amazing, and we saw the Panama Sunrise from Adam Cole the first time he ever broke it out in WWE, which is basically a Canadian destroyer. But yeah, loved it. A lot of fun. Better than Balloon 5. No one else watched. No. Fucking Tommy and Ryan watched the halftime show.
Well,
You know what?
I watched
Thomas
both.
and I did.
Oh,
I watched both. So
I flipped on to halftime heat and then realized that, you know what, halftime heat can happen whenever. I got a Super Bowl to watch.
true, you need to watch Maroon 5.
Yeah, what a great Super Bowl that was.
Yeah, that stunk.
yeah, we don't need to get into
I'm about
that.
to go Trey Wingo on all you guys.
What is that?
All right, never mind.
Well, wrapping up, is there anything else that we missed from the past month that we missed?
Well, I think we could be here all night, but I think it's time to wrap up the dinner and make them leftovers. What do you say, Pico?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, well,
oh, Lucas,
What?
that's just Piefko now, huh?
Oh, well.
Because I mean, if you're gonna say his name, at least say it right.
oh jeez. here we
Oh,
go.
it's right. The Native Americans say Piefko, but
Well, on that note, I just have one thing to say. I want to obviously thank Tommy for being back after all these episodes.
that's right. Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
thanks, Tommy.
thanks
You
for
were a great
being here
host.
when we recorded. And I
That's
will
all-
leave.
that's all good.
I will
I don't
leave
know.
everyone with. I will leave everyone with this note: the Blackhawks are back.